Hello friends, welcome back. In this video, we will explore how to add panels and sections in the WordPress Customizer using a structured approach. Previously, we learned the basics of the Customizer API using the 2021 Classic theme. WordPress Customizer organizes UI elements into panels, sections, settings, and controls. Panels are containers for related sections. For example, we have this custom panel called Content Options, and we can also see the default panels which are provided by WordPress. Inside of panels, you will find sections. Sections are subcontainers for related controls within a panel. For example, inside of our custom content options panel, we have the post details and footer sections. Inside of sections, there are settings and controls. So settings store the data while control provides UI elements for editing these settings. Today we will go deeper into how to add panels, sections and their related arguments. Let's see how all of this fits together. So I've created a custom class called class customize.php, and we have required this class inside of the functions.php file, and I've also instantiated this class. This class initializes panels, sections, and other components using the customize register hook. So similarly, like in the handbook page, we have seen that we have to register a callback function to the customize register hook, which will pass the object of WP customize manager class. So if we click on this class, you will see that inside of the WP includes folder, we have a file called class WP customize manager.php. This is the class that manages the customizer API. We will use its functions for adding panels, sections, and more. Now using the WP customize object, we can call the add panel method to add a panel. Here you can see the content options and content description as well. So similarly, we can add a panel by calling the add panel method. So if we click on the method, you will see that for every part like a panel, section, settings, and controls, each has its own class. If you want to know more about what are the arguments it accepts, then we can just click on the class and go to the constructor method, and we can see the list of arguments that it accepts. Here it passes the ID as the first parameter. Then the manager object has been passed to the constructor by using the this object. So this add panel method internally uses the this object to pass the WP customize manager object to the constructor of this class. You can see the number of other arguments like the priority, which defines the display order. The default priority is 160. So for example, if we check the documentation, we can see the default priorities of all of the panels here. So currently our custom panel is visible just above the additional CSS panel. This is the default, but we can try changing the default by changing the priority. For example, let's say we want to display our custom panel above the homepage settings. So inside of the documentation, we will check the priority of the homepage settings panel. So it is the static front page, which is the panel for the homepage settings, and it has a priority of 120. So we can try changing the priority of our panel to 110, and this will display it above the homepage setting. So let's try to refresh the page, and we can see that the content options is now visible above the homepage settings. So in this way, we can change the priority to change the order of the panels inside of the customizer options. Now there are a couple of other arguments as well, such as capability. So the default capability is edit theme options, which I have used here. If you want to manage or check the capability of the user who will have access to this panel, you can set it using this argument. For instance, if you want only administrators to access this panel, you can use a custom capability. If you haven't watched the roles and capabilities video, I highly recommend doing so. It will give you a better understanding of how capabilities, access control, and roles work together. Okay, the next argument is theme supports. If you want to specify which theme supports are necessary for this panel, for example, if you want the panel to display only if the theme supports custom logo, you can set the theme supports argument to custom logo. This ensures that the panel is relevant only when the necessary feature is available, maintaining a clean and purposeful user interface in the customizer. Then we have the title and description, which I have provided, and then we have the type of the panel, which is default. There are other types like widget type panels and a few other type of panels as well. The last argument we have is active callback function. So active callback uses a function like, for example, is underscore home to conditionally display this section. For example, I've shown the post detail customizer settings only on the blog page. So if we go to the post detail, this is visible only on the blog page. So if we try to go to a single post page, it is not visible. The footer section is visible on all of the pages. So we have done this using the active callback function. This ensures conditional visibility of the sections based on the current page. However, as you can see, the footer settings are available on all the pages since footer is there on all the pages. Similar to panels, we have sections. The content options panel has two sections. For example, you can see if we go to the home page, this content option panel has two sections, which is post details and footer. So if you open the add sections method and go to the class, we can go to the doc block of the constructor again to find the arguments that it accepts. First is priority, which defines the display order as we have already discussed. Next is the panel. So when using the method, we have to specify the panel ID to know which panel this particular section belong to. Next, we have the capability argument. So the panel will have multiple sections and each section can have capability for which should be displayed to manage access to the user. Similarly, there are other familiar arguments like theme supports, title, description, type, etc. There is also active callback, which can be used to conditionally render the section as we have seen with the panel. The last argument is description hidden, which takes a Boolean value, and if it is true, it will hide the description. So for example, we are setting it to true and the description for this panel is not visible. If we try to set it to false, then the description should now be visible. So let's go to content option, post detail, and you can see the post detail description is now visible. So we can adjust the display of the description using this description hidden parameter. By adding panels, sections, and active callbacks, you can create a highly organized and content-aware customizer experience. We learned how to create panels and sections with specific arguments, adjust priority to control the display order, and use active callback function for conditional rendering. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Jai WordPress.